The Los Angeles Sparks traded away the second pick in the 2025 WNBA draft in order to bring in Kelsey Plum. The franchise showed they were all in on their young core from last season and are ready to start instilling a winning culture. Rickea Jackson and Cameron Brink are at the forefront of not only the Sparks' future, but the WNBA's future too. In bringing in Kelsey Plum, the LA Sparks might just be the WNBA's next dynasty. The dust has settled on the WNBA as it navigated a period of change. The super teams of New York and Las Vegas aren't as far ahead of the rest of the league anymore. The Golden State Valkyries are now entering their inaugural campaign, and, simply put, Caitlin Clark. This makes way for teams to plan for the future with everyone's eyes drifting off immediate success, and the LA Sparks might be the best situated team to position themselves for years of joy. Kelsey Plum is one hell of a competitor. I was in attendance at the 2022 World Cup, and the only time I saw Plum smile was when she was at the free throw line getting booed. She's a superlative creator. When attacking in a half-court setting in the WNBA, she's able to score, get to the line, and find teammates. Plum is one of the league's best in all three categories. This play is reset with 14 on the shot clock. A kick out, handoff, screen, an attack to the basket with 10 on the shot clock, and bucket to boot. That's an elite shot given the circumstances. This is masterful. Against the half-court set defense, she works the screenplay like Shakespeare and uses angles as well as changes in speed and direction to lead her to an open layup. Sure, one of the wing's help defenders should be doing something, but that's not Plum's fault. She identifies this and uses it to her advantage. She also keeps her dribble active, like in this clip. The initial fast break looks like it's over, but she keeps the half advantage in semi-transition. That's 3 dribbles in the key and unmatched patience. Using those angles again. This one is off a baseline out of bounds play with a D set. This time it's 3 dribbles again, but starting from the hash mark, and she gets the foul she was looking for in the last play. This next one is someone playing with supreme confidence and swag. Comes down the court comfortably, hang dribble, freezes the defender, no one even knows she's getting such an easy layup. So far we've seen her create outstanding opportunities for herself in a variety of contexts, but how's she going to go as a playmaker? This is just a headache to try and defend, but for some reason the Wings did a pretty good job of adjusting and shifting as a unit. Way better than that play I dragged them for a minute ago. Anyway, this could easily be run with the Sparks. With Brink as Asia, either of Azurá Stevens or Dearica Hamby as Kia Stokes, Kelsey Plum starring as Kelsey Plum, and Young and Gray as shooters, but more on that later. Here, on the baseline penetration, she draws the 4 and the 5, forces the weak side defender into no woman's land, and whips out a bullet to Gray. On transition here, Ionescu, Stewie, and Vandersloot are all reacting to Plum, with Jones making her way over. Cool as ever, Plum causes a catastrophe and hits an open shooter. Another baseline out of bounds play, and Plum is faced with help defense this time. Ionescu becomes a turnstile and all 4 defenders crash. All of these passes are coming from the key and out away from the basket. A catch and shoot on a pass coming from the direction of the basket towards the shooter is the most efficient way for basketball players to shoot a three-pointer. She does it again here, and crashes the D. There's 3 defenders with her in the restricted area. The Sparks didn't have any discernible good playmakers last season and were 3rd last in the league for assists per game. Plum's playmaking can create open threes and open lanes. On to the Sparks' 2 future perennial All-Stars, Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson. Brink showed signs of what's to come and she moves so fluidly around the court. She's already an elite defender on every plank of the hardwood. Jackson's growth within her first season was something to marvel at, getting more and more comfortable creating for herself in the mid-range. When I said I was going to talk about shooters earlier, you probably didn't think of these 2 first, but remember how I spoke about Plum's assist profile on her driving kick game, kicking out away from the basket rather than to the corners. Brink was shooting above the break threes at an elite 39.1%, with Jackson slightly behind at 37.1%. Funnily enough, the further Jackson got away from the basket, the better she was at knocking down threes, shooting a mind-blowing 41.7% between 25 and 29 feet. Hamby also improved to around a league average 3-point shooter on career high volume. My point is, you've seen the opportunities Plum can create. Surely these numbers are set to improve next season. If Plum can unlock the 3 ball in LA, they could be hosting a playoff series next year. I'd be remiss not to mention Aussies Annalie Maley and Shanice Swain. Maley ranked 13th in the WNBL for 3-point percentage this season at 35% and has been superlative in the WNBL over the past few seasons, winning an MVP in 2022, a season she averaged 15.7 rebounds a game, aged just 23. Like Hamby, that number is also trending upwards, and there are noticeable differences in shooting form and shooting confidence as of late. As for Swain, her head coach with Sydney, Guy Malloy, told me that she would shine in a comfortable role if one comes about. Her assets as a scorer off the bench are glaring, and if there was an assurance of consistency in such a role, she can be a serviceable source of creation from outside the starting lineup. Here's a bit of retroactive friendly fire. absolutely cooking Melee on the wing for a smooth step back 3. There's more to this team, obviously. We've just looked at how effective the half-court shot profile will be. Brink will still bring otherworldly stuff like this, baseline drive on a baseline play, and an acrobatic finish. Jackson really excites me. She feels like a future MVP. Stuff like this in year 1 is super promising and sets her apart, not to mention cutting the league to 35. Speaking of cutting, she's top shelf, able to identify when her team's in a bind and bailing them out. This is amazing IQ from a rookie. It's hard not to imagine this working well with Plum. She did most of her scoring at the rim, and her patience and court mapping off ball makes things easier for her team on a broader level. When you have a player this willing to help the team who doesn't demand the ball, it's devastating for the opposition. Brink too, here they go together, finding easy points for their team. Not to say they're in championship form yet, but these are the types of opportunities teams who end up being champions find. What's better is that Brink isn't reliant on others to create for her. Look how easily she deals with this closeout and doesn't give her defenders a chance to rest. I mean, I probably took the words out of your mouth, but can you imagine this play with Kelsey Plum? I also want to highlight the importance of vets on a young roster, namely Azurá Stevens. She played such an underrated role with the Chicago Sky in their 2021 chip. She doesn't just bring experience, she has championship pedigree and was leaned upon and trusted heavily in the finals. Great rotation and contest on none other than Asia Wilson, runs the court beautifully, and say it with me, can you imagine that pass being Kelsey Plum? Hamby really shone last season and already has great rapport with Plum, winning a ring together in Vegas. Here she is in her element, scrapping for a rebound and getting an and one. Here, the Hamby piece de resistance, offers great D, beats an opponent out for the rebound, runs the floor and finishes with an assist. So who knows how the Sparks will go in year 1 with Plum. They finished dead last season, but it doesn't feel crazy to say they'll be in the playoffs this year. I don't know when they'll rise, but I feel pretty comfortable saying this is the start of a dynasty. I get the feeling we'll be seeing Plum, Jackson and Brink hoisting up a WNBA championship with the LA Sparks before it's all said and done.